Welcome back, respected viewers. Today I'm sharing something life-changing. One powerful sentence that you only need to speak once, and it can instantly attract large sums of money into your life. This isn't luck, it's a principle that works. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video to spread abundance. And for even deeper teachings, the link to my other channel is in the pinned comment and channel bio. Now, if you're truly ready to shift your finances and step into overflow, type the word wealth in the comments below, because today, your breakthrough begins. From the moment you open your mouth in the morning, you are already shaping the direction of your day. Most people underestimate the weight of their words. They think language is just a tool for communication. But in reality, it's a force of creation. Every sentence you speak plants a seed in the soil of your subconscious mind. And over time, that seed grows into the harvest you live in. If you constantly say, "I'm broke," or "money never stays with me," your mind believes it. Your subconscious, the silent engine driving 95% of your actions, works day and night to make those words come true. That is why the first secret to attracting large sums of money begins with this. You must learn to speak with intention. There's a reason why ancient wisdom says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Think about that. It means the words you release are not just sounds disappearing into the air. They are vibrations carrying instructions to your future. When you say, "I am wealthy," your subconscious doesn't argue with you. It simply begins searching for ways to prove you, right? This is why successful people guard their speech. They never curse their finances, even when times are hard. Instead, they speak possibilities. They affirm abundance, and they declare prosperity as if it's already here. Let me give you a story. A young woman once came to a mentor frustrated because no matter how hard she worked, she never seemed to have enough. Her job paid her just enough to survive, and she often repeated phrases like, "I can't afford this," or "money always slips away." The mentor asked her to change just one thing: her language. He instructed her to stop saying those sentences and replace them with one simple declaration: "Money flows to me easily and abundantly." At first, she laughed. It sounded ridiculous to say something so opposite of her reality. But she obeyed, speaking that one sentence every morning and every night. Within 3 months, she was promoted at her job. Unexpected financial gifts showed up, and she found herself with more than enough to save. What changed? Her words aligned her mind with abundance, and her mind aligned her actions with opportunities. Science backs this up too. Studies in neuroscience reveal something called the reticular activating system. RAS is a network in your brain that filters information. The RAS works like a gatekeeper. It notices whatever you consistently focus on. If you keep saying, "I'm always struggling," your RAS filters your reality to show you more struggle. But when you speak, "I attract large sums of money," your RAS starts to notice ideas, people, and doors that can lead you to financial abundance. This is why the simple act of speaking one powerful sentence can literally rewire the pathways of your brain. Think of your words like commands to the universe. Just as a computer obeys codes, your life obeys the sentences you release. Every time you speak, you are either programming wealth or programming lack. Most people keep reinforcing lack without realizing it. They complain about bills. They stress about debt. They repeat negative financial patterns with their speech. But here's the truth. If you want to attract money instantly, you must shift from complaint to command. Speak as though wealth is already on its way. That sentence, spoken with faith, becomes a magnet, pulling opportunities toward you. Here's a practical exercise tonight. Before you sleep, stand in front of a mirror and say this with boldness: "I am open to receiving large sums of money now." Don't whisper it like you're unsure. Speak it with authority. like a king issuing a decree. Watch how your energy shifts instantly. You'll feel a sense of power, alignment, and expectancy. And that expectancy is the signal that attracts abundance. When your words, emotions, and beliefs all agree, you create a vibration strong enough to draw wealth into your life. Remember, poverty often begins in the mouth before it ever appears in the bank account. And wealth, too, begins in the mouth before it ever shows up in your wallet. The first step is not to chase money, but to speak it, because what you speak with conviction, you eventually see with clarity. And the sentence you declare once with faith can echo into your future until it manifests as reality. Speaking a sentence is powerful, but speaking it without belief is like planting a seed in dry soil. You can water it, but if the soil rejects it, it will never grow. The truth is, words and belief must work together. The sentence that can attract large sums of money is not magic in itself. It is the belief behind the sentence that activates its power. Without belief, it is just noise in the air. With belief, it becomes a creative force that transforms your reality. Think about how children believe. If you tell a child that tomorrow you're going to the park, that child doesn't question, analyze, or doubt. They prepare for it as if it's already certain. That is the kind of faith you must have when you declare wealth over your life. The moment you say, "Money flows to me easily and abundantly," your heart must believe it as if the deposit has already hit your account. Doubt cancels the vibration of your words, but faith amplifies it. That is why some people speak affirmations for years and see no change. They say the right words but carry the wrong belief. Consider this story. There was a man drowning in debt. He worked 2 jobs, yet his income never stretched enough. He heard about affirmations, but dismissed them as wishful thinking. One day, in sheer desperation, he decided to try. He spoke, "I attract wealth. Money comes to me now." But deep inside, he still believed he was cursed financially. Nothing happened for weeks. Then he met a mentor who told him, "Stop repeating words your heart does not believe. Instead, train your belief first. Visualize yourself debt-free. Imagine your bank account full. See yourself as a wealthy man before the wealth arrives." He began practicing visualization, coupling his words with a new image of himself. Within months, he started seeing opportunities he had ignored before. He invested in a side business that grew quickly, and his financial situation shifted. What changed? His belief finally matched his words. Psychologists call this principle cognitive congruence. When your thoughts, beliefs, and words are aligned, your mind works powerfully in one direction. But when your words say, "I am rich," while your heart whispers, "You're lying," you create inner conflict. That conflict weakens the impact of your affirmations. To attract large sums of money, you must resolve this by choosing belief over doubt. Your sentence should not be spoken with hesitation. It must be spoken with certainty, as if you've already received what you are asking for. Faith has a mysterious way of rearranging your reality. The law of attraction, spiritual traditions, and even science agree. Belief shapes outcomes. When you believe strongly, your subconscious mind begins working overtime. To make it real, your habits change, your decisions shift, and your awareness sharpens. You may notice a new business idea. Someone might suddenly recommend you for a project, or you might feel confident enough to ask for a raise. These doors were always there, but belief opens your eyes to see them. Speaking the sentence is like turning the key, but belief is the hand that unlocks the door. Here's a powerful technique. When you speak the sentence, pair it with gratitude. Say, "I am grateful that money flows to me now." Gratitude tricks the subconscious into believing you already have what you are asking for. And once your mind accepts that reality, it begins creating it. Gratitude also cancels doubt because you cannot be thankful for something and doubt it at the same time. So belief plus gratitude becomes a magnet for financial breakthroughs. Let me be clear. Belief is not blind fantasy. It is not pretending something exists when it doesn't. Belief is the decision to trust in possibility. It is saying, I may not see the money yet, but I know it's already moving toward me. Think of a delivery package. You may not see it at your doorstep, but once you place the order, you believe it's on its way. That is how you must treat your financial affirmations. The sentence you speak is the order. Belief is the tracking number. And in time, the delivery arrives. So when you speak the sentence, whether it's I am open to receiving large sums of money now, or wealth flows into my life with ease, pause for a moment, feel it, believe it, see it in your mind's eye, act as if it's already yours. Because belief is the invisible bridge between your words and your reality. Without it, your sentence is empty. With it, your sentence is unstoppable. If words are the seed and belief is the soil, then emotion is the water and sunlight that make everything grow. You can speak the right sentence, and you can even believe it intellectually. But without emotion, your words lack energy. Emotion is what electrifies your affirmations. It's what tells the subconscious mind, this is serious. Pay attention. The stronger the emotion you attach to your words, the faster your reality begins to shift. Have you ever noticed how vividly you remember emotional experiences? You may forget what you ate for lunch last week, but you can recall in detail the day you received unexpected money or the time you felt completely broke and humiliated. That's because emotion locks experiences into your subconscious mind. The same principle works when you speak about money. If you repeat the sentence, money flows to me easily, but you say it with flat energy, your subconscious treats it as unimportant background noise. But if you speak it with passion, gratitude, and joy, your subconscious records it as a priority and begins working to make it real. There's a story of a man who was struggling financially for years. He began practicing affirmations, but nothing changed. He would say, I am wealthy, yet he whispered it half-heartedly while stressing about bills. Then one day, he heard a speaker explain that emotion is the fuel of manifestation. That night, he stood in front of his mirror, clenched his fists, smiled widely, and declared with fiery energy, I attract large sums of money, and I am grateful for it now. He spoke it as if it had already happened. He felt the joy of receiving, and something shifted in him instantly. Within weeks, he landed a new contract at his business that multiplied his income. His mentor later told him, it wasn't just the words, it was the energy behind them. Emotion turned his sentence into a command. Science supports this too. Research in psychology shows that emotions increase the brain's ability to encode and retrieve information. When you combine your words with positive feelings like excitement, gratitude, and joy, your subconscious treats them as powerful instructions. This is why visualization exercises often emphasize feeling. You don't just imagine holding the money, you imagine the excitement, relief, and joy of receiving it. Those feelings signal to your brain, this is real, prepare for it. Here's a simple exercise you can try. The next time you speak your money sentence, close your eyes and imagine you just received a $10,000 check. Feel your hands holding it, feel your heart racing with excitement. Hear yourself calling someone you love and saying, you won't believe what just happened. Let your body experience that reality. Then, while your emotions are charged, speak your affirmation. I'm open to receiving large sums of money now. You'll notice a rush of energy, a vibration. as if something inside you has clicked into alignment. That emotional vibration is what the universe responds to. Think of it like this. Words without emotion are like a radio signal without electricity. They don't travel far. But when you add emotion, it's like turning up the power. Suddenly, your message is broadcast loudly and clearly into the atmosphere. That's why the richest prayers, affirmations, and declarations are never monotone. They are filled with conviction, gratitude, and expectation. When you combine words, belief, and emotion, you create a magnetic field around you that draws money and opportunities in ways you cannot explain logically. Let me also point out something important. Negative emotions can sabotage this process. If you speak your money sentence, but immediately allow fear or worry to dominate, you dilute the energy of your declaration. Fear is powerful, but so is gratitude. The difference is that gratitude attracts while fear repels. That's why it's crucial to consciously cultivate emotions of joy, expectancy, and thankfulness. When you speak your affirmation, if you can shift your emotional state before declaring, you supercharge your words with unstoppable power. So the next time you say the sentence, whether in the morning, before sleep, or during a quiet moment in your day, don't just speak it, feel it, smile as you declare it. Raise your voice if you can, put your hand over your heart, and let gratitude flow through you. Let your body, your tone, and your spirit align with the reality you are calling in, because emotion is the bridge between belief and manifestation. It transforms a sentence into a living, breathing vibration that attracts wealth into your life. When you speak the sentence that attracts money, the next step is to give it form in your imagination. Words create sound, but visualization creates images. And your mind responds to images far more powerfully than to sound alone. If your words are the blueprint, then your imagination is the architect drawing out the details. Visualization is the act of seeing yourself already in possession of what you desire, and it is one of the most powerful ways to supercharge the sentence you declare. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Athletes use this principle all the time. Olympians often visualize themselves running the race, crossing the finish line, and hearing the crowd cheer before they ever step on the track. Studies show that their muscles respond as if they had physically trained, simply because their minds rehearsed the victory. The same principle applies to wealth when you declare, "Large sums of money flow into my life." Your visualization acts as proof to your subconscious. It paints the picture of what those words mean, giving your mind something tangible to work toward. Here's a story that illustrates this. A man struggling financially learned about visualization techniques. Every night before bed, he closed his eyes and imagined opening his banking app to see his account filled with more money than he had ever owned. He would see himself paying bills with ease, walking into stores without checking price tags, and blessing his family with gifts. At first, it felt like make-believe, but as he kept practicing, the images became more vivid. His emotions began to align with the reality he was creating in his mind. Within 6 months, opportunities began appearing. A higher-paying job, a profitable investment, and unexpected gifts. He realized later that he had been programming his mind for wealth, and his actions naturally began matching that mental blueprint. Visualization made his spoken sentence real. Science calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated thoughts and images. When you visualize wealth while speaking your money sentence, you are literally rewiring your brain to expect abundance. Your mind begins noticing opportunities it once ignored. You become bolder in your decisions, more confident in your actions, and more magnetic in your presence. People sense that energy and are drawn to work with you, invest in you, or bless you, tree. This exercise, after you speak your money sentence, Close your eyes for just 2 minutes. Picture yourself receiving an amount of money so large it makes you smile uncontrollably. Imagine the details. How would it feel to pay off every debt? How would you celebrate with your loved ones? See yourself walking into your bank, depositing checks, or checking your account balance and seeing numbers you've never seen before. The more vivid the image, the more powerful the impact. And as you visualize, let gratitude rise in your heart. Gratitude makes the visualization believable, and belief makes it possible. Think of visualization as sending a clear address to the universe. If you simply say, "I want money," that's vague. It's like telling a delivery company, "Send the package somewhere in the city." But when you visualize, you're giving a precise location. Here's where it goes. Here's what it looks like. Here's how I'll receive it. Your mind now has clarity, and clarity creates focus. And focus is what attracts opportunities that match your image. But here's the key. Don't just visualize the money, visualize the lifestyle, the freedom, and the joy that comes with it. Because money is not paper, it's an experience, an energy, a means of living abundantly. If you visualize with excitement, gratitude, and detail, your spoken sentence stops being a wish. It becomes a living reality that your mind is already rehearsing for. So the next time you declare, "I am open to receiving large sums of money now," take a pause. Close your eyes. Create the picture. Feel the reality. Let your words and your imagination dance together. Because when words and visualization align, the universe has no choice but to respond. Speaking the sentence is powerful. Believing it is necessary. Visualizing it makes it real. But none of these matter if your actions are moving in the opposite direction. Words create energy, but actions give that energy direction. Too often, people speak affirmations about money, but then live in ways that contradict those words. They say, "I attract large sums of money," but they procrastinate, avoid opportunities, overspend, or remain stuck in fear. The universe rewards alignment, not contradiction. To truly attract money, your actions must match your declaration. Imagine this. You stand at a train station, confidently declaring, "I am going to New York." But instead of boarding the train to New York, you step onto the one going to Chicago. Doesn't matter how many times you repeat your sentence, you'll still end up in Chicago because your actions contradicted your words. The same is true with money. If your words are saying abundance, but your habits are saying scarcity, you will always reap scarcity. Alignment means bringing your daily decisions into harmony with your affirmation. Let me share a story. A woman I once read about had a powerful vision of wealth. She spoke affirmations, visualized abundance, and even wrote down her goals. But every month, she spent recklessly, living beyond her means, and refused to invest in herself. She was sowing seeds of poverty while declaring wealth. Eventually, she realized that she needed to change her habits. She began budgeting, saving, and investing small amounts. Here's the truth. Money responds to movement. The universe does not bless idle declarations. It blesses consistent action. When you speak, "I attract large sums of money," ask yourself, what can I do today that aligns with that sentence? Maybe it's starting that side business you've been delaying. Maybe it's applying for a better paying job. Maybe it's learning a new skill that increases your value. The opportunities are already around you. But if your actions don't align, you won't recognize them. Psychologists talk about the concept of cognitive dissonance, the discomfort we feel when our actions contradict our beliefs. If you keep saying, "I am wealthy," but your daily choices reflect fear and lack, your subconscious will struggle to believe you. But once your actions begin to line up, that dissonance disappears. Your mind, your words, and your habits form one powerful force moving in the same direction. That alignment creates momentum. and momentum attracts results. Here's a simple exercise after you speak your money sentence in the morning. Write down one action you'll take that day to align with it. It doesn't have to be big. It could be making a smart financial decision, reaching out to a potential client, creating a budget, or even researching an investment. Over time, those small aligned actions compound into massive results. Your words give the vision, your actions build the path. Think of it like planting a seed. Words plant the seed, belief waters it. Visualization gives it sunlight. But action is you tending the soil, pulling weeds, making space, protecting the growth. Without action, the seed dies, no matter how much you affirm or visualize. But with action, the seed grows into a harvest larger. One more story. A man once declared, "I am a millionaire." But he lived in fear of taking risks. He spoke words of abundance, but never acted. Years later, nothing had changed. His friend, however, spoke the same sentence, but decided to act as though it were already true. He started dressing with confidence, making bold business decisions, and aligning his lifestyle with the wealth he declared. Within 5 years, he reached millionaire status. The difference wasn't the sentence, it was alignment. So remember, the sentence you speak is the spark, but your actions are the fuel. Speak it once with conviction, but then let every decision you make testify that you meant it. Because when words and actions align, money has no choice but to find you. You can speak the sentence, believe it, feel it, and act on it. But there's one ingredient that multiplies everything: gratitude. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the flow of abundance. Without it, your words may sound demanding or desperate. With it, your words become magnetic. Gratitude transforms your declaration from a cry of need into a song of receiving. It shifts your energy from lack to overflow. And that shift makes all the difference in how money flows into your life. Think about it. The wealthiest, happiest people are not those who have the most, but those who appreciate what they have. Gratitude is a vibration, and it signals to the universe that you are already living in abundance. When you are thankful for what you have now, even if it seems small, you create space for more. When you complain about what you lack, you close the door to increase. Gratitude keeps that door wide open. Here's a story that illustrates this truth. A man struggling financially began practicing affirmations, but he always felt frustrated. He would say, "Money flows to me easily." But immediately afterward, he would think about the bills piling up. Then he learned a secret. Instead of focusing on lack, focus on gratitude. So he began every morning by saying, "I am grateful for the money I have now, and I am grateful for the money that is coming." Suddenly, his energy shifted. He no longer felt desperate. He felt expectant. Within weeks, new streams of income began appearing. Gratitude had changed his vibration from complaint to celebration, and that opened the flow. Science also confirms the power of gratitude. Studies show that practicing gratitude rewires the brain to focus on positivity and abundance. It lowers stress, increases creativity, and improves decision making, all qualities that attract financial opportunities. When you are thankful, you are more relaxed and open to ideas. When you are stressed and negative, you miss the very doors that could lead to your breakthrough. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good, it literally changes how your brain sees opportunities. Here's a practical technique. After you speak your money sentence, add the words, "Thank you." For example, "I am open to receiving large sums of money now. Thank you." Those two words, spoken with sincerity, transform your declaration. Instead of saying it like a command to the universe, you are saying it like a gift already received. Gratitude collapses the distance between your words and your reality. It makes your mind believe that what you ask for is already yours. Another exercise: keep a gratitude journal specifically for money. Every night, write down at least 5 things you are financially grateful for. It could be as simple as, I paid for my meal today, or I received unexpected change, or I am thankful I had enough for rent. This trains your subconscious to see abundance instead of lack. And as the saying goes, what you focus on expands. If you focus on gratitude for money, more money will come into your life. Let me share a powerful example. A woman once started writing gratitude statements as if her future wealth had already arrived. She wrote, I am grateful for my thriving business. Even though her business was barely surviving, she wrote, I am grateful for the large sums of money flowing into my accounts. Even though her balance was low within a year, her business exploded, and she looked back at her gratitude journal in awe. She realized she had written her future into existence through gratitude. Gratitude is also a safeguard. It keeps your heart humble and your spirit generous. Without gratitude, even if you attract money, you risk losing it because you won't value it. Gratitude ensures that money does not become your master, but remains your servant. It keeps you grounded in joy so that wealth enhances your life instead of controlling it. So the next time you speak the sentence, whether it's I am open to receiving large sums of money now, or wealth flows to me with ease, say it with gratitude. Smile. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, thank you. Feel the thankfulness as if the money has already arrived. Because when gratitude and affirmation come together, you don't just attract money, you attract abundance that keeps multiplying. You can speak the sentence with faith, fill it with emotion, visualize it, take action, and even add gratitude. But if you hold on to resistance, you block the flow. Resistance is the invisible wall that stops money from entering your life. Doubt, fear, worry, and the constant need to control. How the money will come are all forms of resistance. To attract large sums of money instantly, you must release resistance and trust the process. Think of a garden hose. If water is flowing but there's a kink in the hose, the flow stops. Your words are the water, but resistance is the kink. No matter how much pressure builds up, nothing comes out until you release it. In the same way, you may be affirming wealth, but if deep down you're worried, anxious, or attached to a specific outcome, you're blocking the flow. The universe responds best when you let go and allow. Here's a story. A man who had been affirming wealth for years grew frustrated because nothing was changing. He was doing everything right, speaking, believing, visualizing, but every day he would obsess over when and how it would happen. He would check his bank account constantly, waiting for the miracle. That attachment created resistance. One day, his mentor told him, stop asking how. Your job is the what, not the how. So he began releasing control. He spoke the sentence once, believed it fully, then let it go. Instead of stressing, he acted with confidence, trusted the process, and focused on gratitude. Within months, an unexpected business deal brought him more money than he had ever made. The flow was always available. He just had to release the blockage. Science supports this principle through the concept of psychological detachment. Studies show that when people detach from obsessive worry about their goals, they experience less stress, think more clearly, and notice opportunities they would have missed. The mind works best in a state of relaxed confidence, not desperate tension. Releasing resistance puts you in that relaxed state where wealth can find you. Here's how to practice releasing resistance. Speak it once with conviction. Say your money sentence as if it is already done. Trust the process. Tell yourself, it's on its way. I don't need to figure out how. Shift focus. Instead of constantly worrying about money, shift your energy toward creativity, gratitude, or service. When your focus moves away from stress, you open the flow. Another technique is what I call the breath of release. After you speak your affirmation, take a deep breath in, Hold it for 3 seconds. Then exhale slowly while saying, I release all fear, doubt, and resistance. Feel the weight leaving your body. Repeat this until you feel lighter. You'll notice a sense of peace. That peace is the absence of resistance. And peace is the environment where abundance thrives. Here's another example. A woman once desperately needed money for rent. She spoke affirmations constantly, but always with fear. Her energy was heavy. One day, she decided to change her approach. She spoke the sentence once with full faith. I am open to receiving large sums of money now. Then she released it, refusing to stress. Instead, she focused on gratitude for her health, her family, and the little money she did have. 2 days later, a friend unexpectedly paid back an old loan, covering her rent in full. She realized that money had been available all along. The only thing blocking it was her resistance. Releasing resistance doesn't mean being passive. It means doing your part, then trusting the unseen to do its part. It means not obsessing over how it will happen, but living as if it's already done. Money flows to relaxed energy, not desperate energy. That's why you often hear stories of people receiving breakthroughs the moment they stop worrying. The breakthrough was ready, they just had to let it in. So when you speak the sentence to attract large sums of money, check your heart. Are you stressing about how it will come? Are you doubting if it's possible? Are you attached to a specific outcome? If so, release it. Trust that your words have already set the process in motion. Breathe, let go, and walk in peace. Because when resistance leaves, abundance rushes in after speaking the sentence. After believing, visualizing, acting, and releasing resistance. The final key is this. You must live in alignment with what you've declared. Words are powerful, but your daily habits, choices, and lifestyle must reflect the wealth you are calling in. This is not about pretending to be rich or spending recklessly. It's about carrying yourself as someone who already lives in abundance. Imagine this. You plant a seed in fertile soil, water it, and then leave it in the sunlight. If the seed could talk, it would say, I am already a tree. It knows growth is happening even before the branches appear. That is how you must live after speaking the sentence. You walk, talk, think, and act like someone who has already received large sums of money. This alignment is what completes the process. Alignment means you no longer contradict your words with your lifestyle. If you say, I attract large sums of money, but then complain daily about being broke, you're out of alignment. If you declare abundance, but live in fear of losing, you're out of alignment. Alignment is consistency between belief, speech, and action. Here's a true story. A woman began speaking wealth affirmations, but noticed no changes for months. Then one day she realized she was living opposite of what she declared. She constantly said yes to lack, settling for jobs that undervalued her, avoiding opportunities out of fear, and keeping a scarcity mindset. She decided to align. She started dressing neatly, walking confidently, networking boldly, and managing the little money she had with wisdom. Within a year, she landed a position that doubled her income and opened new doors. Her words had planted the seed, but alignment allowed the harvest. Scientific studies show that self-concept directs behavior. When people adopt the identity of wealth, even before they have it, they begin to make decisions that lead to prosperity. It's not magic, it's psychology. The brain seeks consistency between who you believe you are and how you live. If you declare abundance but act in lack, your brain stays confused. But once your words and actions match, your brain clears the path toward opportunities. So how do you align with wealth after speaking the sentence? Manage money wisely. Even if you only have a little, treat it with respect. Abundance flows to those who prove they can handle it. Walk in confidence. Stop apologizing for existing. Carry yourself with dignity, as someone who knows wealth is their natural state. Choose abundance language. Instead of "I can't afford it," say, "How can I create the resources for this?" Word shape alignment. Give generously. Nothing aligns you with wealth faster than acting like a source of blessing. Giving proves you trust. There's always more. Surround yourself with wealth energy. Network with people who think big, read books on abundance, and consume content that lifts you higher. One man put this into practice by changing the way he introduced himself. Instead of saying, "I'm struggling to get by," he began saying, "I'm building wealth and opportunities are flowing my way." Within months, people around him started offering him projects, deals, and ideas. Why? Because he aligned his words with his identity, and people responded to that energy. Alignment also means discipline. Wealth is not just about attracting money. It's about sustaining it. Many people receive money but lose it because their lifestyle isn't aligned with wisdom. The universe will not pour abundance into a broken vessel. But when you build structure, discipline, and alignment, you prove you are ready for overflow. Think of it like this. When you speak the sentence, you've placed an order. When you align your life, you've set the table for the feast. Without alignment, the blessing arrives but finds no place to stay. With alignment, money flows in and multiplies. So after speaking your sentence once, live as if it's already true. Let your habits, choices, relationships, and even your posture declare wealth. This alignment sends a signal to the universe. I am ready. I am capable. I am positioned. And when you are aligned, large sums of money don't just visit you. They stay with you, grow with you, and flow through you to bless others.